welcome to Lighting the Bay, where we need new kits every single game. Get on it, design team. I'm Brian, that's Colin, and that's Liam. And we're here to talk about
Hello.
break down Rhode Island FC throughout the season, focusing on statistical and tactical analysis with our amateur twist. We're not professionals, you know. What are we talking about? I don't even know.
Today we're going to be talking about three different phases of play: the in possession, the out of possession, and transitions. Kind of really big overarching topics. This is going to be the first video in hopefully a series of us attempting to teach y'all
a
more
little
about,
ball,
yeah,
a little ball
expand the
101.
ball knowledge. So we're going to start with some pretty big topics and then eventually start getting more into the minutia, the more nitty-gritty kind of stuff. So if any throughout these videos, if you notice anything that you want us to talk more about, please let us know down in the comments. Send us an email, DM us on every single platform all the time.
DM us on every platform. The same thing on all three platforms.
But we're going to start, and I'm going to start us off with the in possession phase of soccer. So normally people think of the in possession structure as something that we'll see right around here, which is in the opposition's half. And that's pretty normal because when you think of having the ball, you think of having it and looking to attack. So this is kind of normally how our Rhode Island FC team lines up. We have sort of a makeshift front four with mainly Jojea getting farther up, our midfield three, and our either situational back four or normally our back three. This is kind of our normal structure that you'll see, and we're going to show right here kind of how that all plays in together. So right here, this is the Oakland Roots game that we only drew 1-1, even though we were absolutely killing these guys. This is right after they got their red card, so we're really, really packing it in against them. But we can see that we're starting to form that our horseshoe around the back of our back three, and then doing a lot of our long balls across. But just this is very standard, normal what you think of in possession right here. But as the technical levels have advanced and also just tactical ideals have changed and also advanced with those growing technical abilities, the ability to play out of the back has expanded quite rapidly over the past 10 to 15 years across the entire world. So we see it a lot now here in Rhode Island, where we build out from the back with our back three, but more of a makeshift back four with Koke as a fourth center back, pretty much, and having to play out from deep, which to the chagrin of some fans, they don't really, really love it, but that's where soccer has been heading for 10, 15 years now. And it's only right that this league continues to follow up with it. So here is our game against Hartford, our home game against Hartford, where we beat them 3-0. But this is us, a very quintessential us building out from the back, where we see Koke in the back line ready to become part of a three. You see it a lot coming out of goal kicks, offside calls, even throw-ins from deep, but that's really how we build out of the back. Jojea kind of goes on a huge rangy run here, and it's in for just a weak cross. But that's kind of how it really ends up forming, is building a little structure around the back, passing from center back to center back. Occasionally, like in that situation, somebody just takes the space, but a lot of times it's a very patient build-up between all of the midfielders and the center backs waiting to probe and get us forward. And to talk about something a little bit more high concept is the difference between we play very counter-attacking soccer, and some people would think of that as transitional soccer, but there's this concept of artificial counters, which
What?
was made famous by Roberto De Zerbi of the Brighton and Hove Albion teams a few years ago. And really, what that concept is all about is baiting the other team forward into triggering their presses earlier so that you can create pretty much an artificial transitional moment, but it's all within being in possession. So it looks something like you can be passing the ball around your back line, and they're going to want to trap Grant Stoneman in the corner. So if we end up passing this ball out to Karifa, the striker will push up, their midfielder will push up, and the more defensive player will probably just still stay back. But as we play a ball out to Grant, that's really going to trigger their press to try to swarm him. So people are going to really start pushing up, and that gives space for either Jojea or the likes of Noah or anybody in our front line to start running forward. And Grant can open up, play a ball over the top, and we are in with statistical advantages. So that's the splitting of the hairs between what a transition is and what artificial countering is. But if we want to see how we transition from defense to offense, this is a really good example against Memphis. We're already 1-0 up, and we start out of a goal kick for them in our high press position, and we look to really capitalize on mistakes in other teams' midfields. Memphis was one of the highest possession-based teams in the league. So right there, we take advantage of a loose pass into the midfield, and away we go. So that's where we're starting to get into transitional moments, is making offensive errors on their end, capitalizing on those moments, and that is where we get counterattacking. And I think this is a great summation of all three of our phases together. This is a game against Birmingham, and we'll see us playing out from the back. Koke is our extra center back there. Nice patient build up in the beginning. A lovely, lovely long ball from Clay out to Steven. Early cross. And then as they start trying to clear their lines, it always feels like Mark is there to help recycle and regain possession.
Garbage man.
We love him. We love him. And we're watching this
Recycling
high
man.
press working really well, making it just impossible for them to clear their lines effectively. And now we're back in possession in their half, moved from back to front, and now we're just slowly building up again. And I think this is a perfect example of all three.
So for every in possession, there's an equal and opposite out of possession. What do we do when we don't have the ball? You know what I mean? And so I think that this clip is pretty good. This clip, we're sort of seeing us force the opposition out to the wings, and we're applying pressure through the midfield. So this is our game against Charleston in the Eastern Conference Final. So you see JJ applying that pressure to the back line. And I think that, I can't quite tell who that is. I think that's Zach. You know, he's sort of covering the space inside. And now we have this setup here where it's like they don't have an option inside. And we're forcing them to go down this wing. And you can sort of see whoever this guy is on Charleston making an attempt. But Karifa is there to just step over.
And Grant I think also right behind him is our defender right on his back. He's like perfectly in line with him.
Like right on him, exactly, yeah.
We have that like arrowhead shape ahead of him as well.
Yeah. So we're just able to basically dictate where Charleston's going to play. And we actually end up forcing them back, and I believe into a mistake or into a turnover. Force them back, they try to go over the top, and then bang. That's our ball. And yeah, that is one of the ways that our out of possession structure works. We also have, different structures when we build up, or when we are out of possession. So this screenshot here shows us same game in a 5-4-1, defending against them. So you've got, they're attacking in sort of like they've got the 4 attackers up here. It's like we can't see the other guys, but you can sort of assume it's like a 2-4-4 type of thing from what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
And this just basically shuts off anything that they can do going this way, right? So the ball's coming out here. Frank is stepping up. Clay is coming in. Unsure who that is. I think that's actually Chico, because he was man marking.
Chico tracking in.
Yeah, he was man marking Malloy this game. And so we're able to just shut down their passing lanes. And the most open guy on this screenshot is all the way out here, right? And it's like you're not
Unless,
collecting this ball and going, yeah, I'm gonna make that pass real quick.
yeah,
Like,
unless you're God, you can't do that.
exactly. So it's all about just closing down their passing lanes and like making sure that we have a solid back line, right? So
Because their best option there is to look backwards,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I don't have the clip of this, and I maybe should have had it, but whatever. We can sort of assume that this ball comes here, a pass is to here, and then that ball is coming right back to this guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's sort of the way to quote unquote unlock it, but you're really not doing much, right?
it's a lot of congestion.
It is. It is. In this next clip here, we're seeing a nice sort of like man marking situation going on. And again, we're seeing our out of possession force them out wide. So something to note here is that Chico is marking Aaron Malloy, man marking Aaron Malloy. And then in a second, we'll actually see Grant Stoneman, who's man marking Jay Chapman. So Chico's applying some pressure, right? Again, forcing them back.
You can see him already now on Malloy.
Yeah.
If
And
you go, yeah,
this is a great moment, right? Like, really, it's like 5 seconds ago, but like right here, we've got JJ applying this pressure.
that's
We've got
Malloy in
Chico
the
on
midfield.
Malloy,
Yeah,
and then we've got this back three, and then that
yeah,
is Jay Chapman, and that's Grant Stoneman,
stepping all the way out of the back.
all the way out of the back. So you've got a 2 and a 4 in that first line of the out of possession structure, and like Aaron Malloy and Jay Chapman are their creators, right? Like we are shutting off their creators,
Yeah,
and we're
this is
forcing
the
them out wide.
best midfield from last year, and
Right.
we're causing errors like this. Yeah,
It's really nice to see. Really nice to see. That leads me to this, which is sort of an idea about rest defense. This is,
Way.
yes, very fun terms. Rest defense is basically these boys here when we're in possession. So if Clay has the ball and he's going to pass to Maxi, let's say number 8 picks it up, these guys are going to come forward. JJ is not going to be able to get back in time to cover number 7, but what you can do is basically that, and you have a defensive structure behind your attacking structure, right? Like it seems like a very basic thing, right?
Concept or idea.
Basic concept, yeah. But like this decision making, then like if we win the ball back, right? Like if a pass goes to him and Yao steps up and wins it back, we're already able to just sort of like
We're pretty much still
be
in our
a
attacking
shape.
structure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in our shape. Like that's the thing about the rest defenses. They are setting the foundation upon everything that is built in front of them. And
absolutely.
it's so strong, so strong. And then final clip that I've got here is I think my favorite. I mean, I love Chico, and Chico didn't
Mhm.
score, the like 22 goals that he scored when he was in Pittsburgh, but this is what you get from Albert Dequa. The unwritten, like, look at this press. He comes all the way up there, and he's not done. He's chasing it back to the goalkeeper, forcing that
One-man
kick
mission.
ball.
Yeah,
And now, what is so good is look at this. We are now in a shape, like in and out of possession shape, where we can again force them out wide and make them kind of, I believe this leads, to another mistake or turnover in possession. And then a foul, but, whatever.
yeah.
But that sort
But
of idea where Chico's able to press up and the guys behind him can get into a shape, right? So, like, what we're seeing here, this is maybe 10 seconds after Chico was up here, right? And him doing that allowed these guys to get into this formation. And this is kind of also a rest defense situation, but
Sure.
it's like just more guys, basically.
Yeah,
So,
it feels like it's because it's something that we do. That's like the entire premise of our defense is to be able to get one guy forward and then bring everybody else up.
exactly.
And it also helps. I mean, this is again, what, 15 seconds of something we do consistently throughout
Consistently.
every
Right.
game, the entire season. And it's like he's busting a gut to do that so that everyone else has the time and space to get up there. So it's also part of like team preservation as well.
100%. And like, again, this is a rest defense moment here. Like, this is all going on up here, right? Like, these guys are in their pressing structure or whatever. But these 4 defenders are always sort of in this shape, sort of like a really narrow triangle. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Which
Yeah.
I think is great.
So as if that ball that gets cleared out becomes instead of a foul here, becomes a quick attempt for a counterattack on their end.
These
We're
guys
ready
are
for
coming
it.
in. Exactly. And it's like all of these things play together, right? Like you win and lose the ball in a game dozens of times.
So,
You know what I mean?
so
Like
often.
this
That's the
is the
entire game.
foundation of the game. And
Yeah.
these things seem like such like large concepts and also very like nuanced topics. And I think that, you know, the more attention and the more focus that a manager puts into them, the stronger your team is as a whole. So
Absolutely.
that's sort of the importance behind them.
Well, that's a very good teaching lesson, Professor Colin and Professor Liam. Any final thoughts?
Kind of reiterating what I said earlier, but if anybody has any questions about topics, more explanation on what we talked about today, or if you want to see specific ideals broken down from different games, if you found a specific game from last season tactically interesting or just curious about more of what we do at RIFC, like let us know and we would love to be able to do that.
Yeah. And also shifting away from specifically lighting the bay, but you know, get your D36 memberships in, so you can get tight scarves, cool hats, get your koozies.
Got the
We're repping.
stickers back there.
We are repping. Shout out the boys and
Love
the
'em.
girls and the
And the
non-binary
theys.
individuals.
Whoa.
Good thing you said that one, or else you'd be canceled.
Yep.
And check us out. All of our links are in the description. Yeah,
Exactly.
Bye.
Exactly.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Wait.